Hello, one all. It's my Vigilantes, chapter 107, The Days to Come. And this chapter starts off with Six rightfully wondering why Koichi isn't dead yet. I mean, seriously, every one of Six's blows is moving at supersonic speed and is powerful enough to blow up a car, and yet Koichi barely even has a scratch on him. How? I mean, seriously, we've all been wondering that for a very, very long time. And when Six finally asks it, Koichi kind of just shrugs his shoulders because he doesn't know. He literally has no idea why he's not dead yet. I mean, he came to this fight knowing Six was stronger than him, faster than him, and fully expecting to die. He knew there was a very, very good chance, almost a certainty that he would die in this fight, but yet he's doing remarkably well and has even managed to surprise himself. And Six's only explanation for this is that Koichi had just gotten lucky time and time and time again. And if he just keeps, hitting him again and again and again, he'll eventually manage to take him down. And this is just such a protagonist mindset. Six is completely convinced himself that he is the hero of the story, and anyone else gets in his way is a villain. And because hero always has to win, that means there can't be anyone in this world who is stronger, smarter, or faster than him. So therefore, Koichi, he's just a kid that got lucky, and he'll eventually win this fight. Huzzah! But this then leads to one of the most interesting moments in this chapter, as O'Clock disagrees with Six's method, basically saying the power of Overclock is meant for precise, accurate blows, not for just these wild, crazy attacks you're doing. And in response to this, Six says, "Speak for yourself, O'Clock. You didn't have the right body to make good use of this quirk," which... weird! Very, very weird! I mean, seriously, what exactly is O'Clock? Who/what is he? I mean, the community has basically agreed up to this point that O'Clock is just, an alternate personality because Six is utterly and completely insane. And while he's definitely crazy, that just doesn't really make sense anymore. I mean, O'Clock was more focused on testing the Protonomu rather than killing Pop. O'Clock managed to remain calm and cool and tranquil when Six is losing his freaking mind. And now, O'Clock seems to be speaking from a different perspective than Six. O'Clock has the experience of using the Overclock quirk in a normal human body, and the only person who would have that would be the real O'Clock. So this being, whatever it is, actually has the memories of O'Clock. So, yeah, like I said, really, really weird. I mean, the quirk remnant theory, him basically being a ghost of the original O'Clock hidden inside of the Overclock quirk, was thrown out a very long time ago because, basically that would make no sense because this O'Clock is being really, really supportive of Six, helping out every step of the way, giving, rational, calm advice to make sure his plans work. His plans actually, don't fail, but that's not at all what the actual O'Clock would do, so, yeah, I don't know. I just really, really don't know at this point. I mean, the argument could be made that maybe Six managed to kidnap O'Clock's daughter and is holding her hostage, and that's why the quirk remnant is helping him out. That's why the quirk remnant is trying to make sure he wins this fight. I mean, that would make some sense, but still, it's weird. It's so weird. And Six's big plan here is basically to punch Koichi again and again and again, faster and faster until Koichi eventually isn't able to keep up, and then Six is able to deliver a blow that weakens him, and then finishes him off with a knuckle bomb. That's a, pretty good plan. Eventually it works, and then just as he's about to deliver the finishing blow, Koichi manages to shoot him. Koichi manages to shoot Six while he's in his accelerated state, while he's literally moving faster than the eye can track, and this utterly terrifies him, as well as it should. I mean, it's just a small wound, a small scratch, but still, nobody should have been able to keep up with Six's movements at that speed, and yet Koichi did. Koichi managed to win. Koichi managed to make him, jump backwards, and it utterly terrified him. And at this point, O'Clock finally figures out what's going on. Basically, Koichi's managed to unlock Ultra Instinct, which means in terms of the DBZ lore, he is now at the same level as a god. So, all hail God Koichi, I guess. Oh my god, I love it. I freaking love it. Though obviously this isn't a concept that, originated from Dragon Ball. This has existed for a very, very long time in Japanese lore and Japanese, combat training, all that. Basically, it's just utter mindlessness. Being able to move, being able to attack, being able to fight back without thinking about it, without conscious thought. So your body just, reacts almost by instinct. I mean, for one thing, Koichi's always been kind of empty-headed, kind of go with the flow, kind of, not really think things through all that well. And this honestly kind of even goes back to what All Might said way back when in the first chapter of the main series. True heroes, they kind of just react without thinking about it. And Koichi is the ultimate pinnacle of that, as time and time again in this series, he's moved without thinking about it. He's gone in to save people, save civilians, save heroes who are in danger, even when he had absolutely no freaking clue what to do next, or how to survive. And yet it keeps working for him because his Ultra Instinct kicks in. He's able to basically move without conscious thought. Oh, that's a cool ability. That's a cool ability. And this basically means that Koichi is faster than 6. Yes, 6 is able to think faster than Koichi can, but Koichi is able to move without conscious thought. He can see 6's blows coming and not even think, okay, there's a blow there, I need to dodge that. A blow there, I need to deflect that. He just goes dodge, deflect, without even thinking about it, without even really realizing what he's doing. And it's just such an awesome ability. And oh my god, the next line just makes it so terrifying. Take care not to encounter the Crawler ever again. 6 is the ultimate villain, the strongest villain, one of the strongest villains we've ever seen in this entire series, even in the main series. And yet O'Clock, his protege, his guardian, his teacher, is telling 6, you can't beat him, you can't win against him. Oh my god. And he has a good point. Koichi's quirk is fairly broken. He can move at high speeds, he can do range attacks, he can put up defensive force fields, and with his subconscious reflexes, he's able to trigger each of those actions without conscious thought, able to react without even really thinking about it. And that is just so terrifying. As we see on the next page, where Koichi is standing tall, hovering above 6. Oh my god, he is a giant. He is the perfect foil for you. And O'Clock just even goes a step further, saying, much like All Might, this is one foe to be avoided. As Koichi is coughing, barely able to stand up straight because 6 just punched him in the stomach. Yes, this little boy right here, is apparently one of the most dangerous heroes, the most dangerous people in all of Japan, and the worst possible enemy 6 can face. And that's just, right now. If Koichi eventually builds up enough real experience in this world, enough fighting experience where he's able to fight back, where he's able to actually land a blow on 6 with the intention of killing him, there's absolutely nothing 6 can do. 6 would lose that fight 10 times out of 10 times. Oh, I love you, Koichi. I freaking love you. And, as you might have expected, 6 does not take this news all that well. Finding out this, little boy who's been looking down on, who's basically considered a bug all this time, is stronger than him, has more potential than he does, just royally ticks him off. So he decides to transform into what I pray to God is his final form. Operation Anonymous Phase 6, which, this thing's terrifying. This thing is so utterly terrifying. I mean, I guess we should have seen this coming. This is a form rather similar to what what's his name took during the flashback with Knuckle Duster, Rappa, and Mirko, but oh my god, this thing is massive. This thing is so massive. And I am just, really nervous about the vents on his back. I mean, right now they seem to be focused on expelling gas, expelling all the heat this new big body's creating, but they can also serve as about 6 additional mouths, meaning that 6 can absorb a ton of oxygen from the air to power his O'Clock quirk, meaning that even this kaiju-level body, he could still move at accelerated speeds almost indefinitely. I mean, seriously, if he does actually have 7 mouths now, 7 mouths that constantly absorb in oxygen, then he is a true threat that goes way beyond the old 6. Oh, that's terrifying. That's so terrifying. And it really does raise the question, what's gonna happen next? I mean, 6, doesn't even look human anymore, so there's a good possibility that maybe Koichi will not see him as human and realize, okay, you know what? I can deliver a finishing blow, I can finish him off here and now. But that still just feels so unlike Koichi to actually, kill an opponent, to actually kill his enemy. I mean, I would love to see it, but it just really doesn't seem all that likely. So other possibilities are, there's still the other heroes. There's Eraserhead, Ingenium, Best Jeanist, Edgeshot, and Midnight, who are all fairly close, and all the bombers, all the Pronomo should have stopped by this point, so they probably cleared that up and then come over and lend a helping hand, help him finish off his opponent somehow, some way. That would make a certain amount of sense. But I definitely don't think 6 can survive this fight, because he knows just way too much about All For One, and what's more, All For One has never used the O'Clock quirk on any of the other Nomu, or himself, or on Shigaraki, so it just seems really unlikely that All For One managed to reclaim the quirk from him, so yeah, definitely think 6 is gonna die. I mean, it would make a certain amount of sense for 6 to basically, self-destruct before this fight ends, basically blowing himself up with the intention of taking down Koichi with him. I mean, I definitely see that coming as well, but is he that sacrificial? Is he that willing to, really literally die, to give up all his hopes and dreams of becoming a hero just for the sake of revenge, just for the sake of killing Koichi? I'm not entirely sure about that. I've also had another theory about 6, which, was just really insane. So much so, someone actually called it my craziest theory ever, but what if 6 fakes his death and then goes after the detective, kills the detective, and basically takes his place, transforms into him, and then, spends the rest of the main series as him? What if the detective we've known from the main series is in fact 6 in disguise? I mean, that would be utterly insane, but would explain a whole lot why the detective seems so different than the main series, who the UA traitor is, and what exactly happened to Six after this big fight. I mean, even if Six blows himself up, there's a very good chance he can, regenerate himself and manage to survive, but then, he would have gone back to working for All For One, or All For One would have reclaimed the quirk. So what if the detective is the UA traitor? He's secretly been Six for the entirety of the main series. I mean, that would make a certain amount of sense, but yes, admittedly is definitely insane. There's also just the question of what happens to Koichi after all this is said and done. I mean, Koichi is, literally a criminal. He is a vigilante. He is technically a villain. He has broken so very many laws that he will spend the rest of his life in Tartarus, or at the very least be blacklisted from ever getting a job in Hero Society again. Which brings up the point that Six's face, or at least one of Six's faces, looked a whole lot like Koichi's. So what if the police, just cover it all up, basically say, oh no, we were wrong, Koichi wasn't the crawler, the Six guy was the real crawler, he was the real villain all along, and he just looked so much like Koichi, we got confused. I mean, it seems utterly insane, and way further than the police would be willing to go, but it's not like they can just say, oh, this vigilante managed to save the day, the vigilante managed to save all these lives. I mean, no, that would utterly destroy the world's faith in Hero Society. I mean, it's the same reason why Stain's attack was covered up. The fact that Deku, Ida, and Shoto managed to stop Stain was covered up. Partly to save them, partly to protect them, but also because it would shake faith in Hero Society to let people know that non-heroes managed to stop a villain that even the pro-heroes couldn't stop. So, yeah, I'm definitely curious about that, But then, what happens next? What happens to Koichi after all this is said and done? Because even if Koichi's given a clean rap sheet, even if he's allowed to, walk away, leave, would he really stop being the crawler? Would he really stop being a vigilante? I mean, if my theory is correct and the police are going to frame Six, it's not like Koichi can actually come out in the crawler outfit ever again, because then people would realize, oh, Koichi is the real crawler and the police lied to us, and that would be, very problematic. So what exactly is Koichi going to do? I mean, is he really going to retire from being a vigilante? I mean, it always seemed like Koichi would be very content with a normal human life, not being a hero, not going out and saving people every day, but at the same time, I really can't imagine him, letting people be in danger, not rushing out to help people when he sees someone in need. Especially with where the series is right now, where the main series is right now, they could really use a hero. I need a hero! And that's Koichi. Koichi is probably one of the greatest heroes in all of Japan. Though, then there's a question of whether or not he's actually in Japan right now, because, yeah, even if he does get blacklisted from ever being a hero in Japanese society, there's still America, and his quirk is rather similar to Captain Celebrity's, so what if he moves to America and becomes Captain Celebrity's sidekick, essentially learns from him, works for him, becomes a stronger hero under him, and then when everything, goes kind of crazy in the main series, he comes back with Captain Celebrity to save his hometown, to save his people, to save Japan. I mean, it would make a lot of sense. Or we could also see him, just basically being a rogue vigilante in the main series. When things got bad again, he decided to pull out the All Might hoodie to protect those who weren't able or willing to evacuate. And it would also make a lot of sense, but I just really don't know. I just really don't know where this series is going. I mean, it definitely feels like the main series is preparing us for the day where Koichi comes back, where Koichi ends up saving the day. I mean, it would make so much sense, but I'm not sure. I'm just really not sure right now. Although first off, we still have to deal with what, like I said, I hope, I pray to God, is Six's final form. I mean, seriously, if he can transform again after this, I'm worried. I'm very worried, but this does seem to be, his ultimate power. He does say he's going to use his full power to take him down, so yeah, I think this is, literally everything Six can do. This is the biggest, nastiest, strongest form he can take, but let me know all down below. Be sure to like, subscribe to the next video. Until next time, peace!